guys, Josh here from the Queensland branch with one of our flagship models, the 120 horsepower Trident Plus, which is a PowerShift model similar to our 110. Now, starting up the front, before we cover the rest of the exterior, you've got your standard upgraded bucket that we've got with front end loader capacities, 1.2 ton safe working load, 1.5 max working load with the forks on. Standard Euro hitch as expected, hydraulic quick disconnects on the front end loader bucket. Also, you've got guards here on both your hydraulics and also these hydraulic rams, just a bit of protection there should anything come up and get snagged. All the hoses are also sheathed, again to minimize snagging and potential for something getting between those two hoses. Indicator here for you to be able to see your bucket. Obviously from the canopy itself it is a bit hard to see, but it is nice to have. We'll move further along. You've got your hydraulic accumulator there to help with the smoother operation of the front end loader in itself. Over here, 170 litre fuel tank, 3 steps built into the fuel tank. Fuel tank wraps right around. Now, when you start this up or prior to starting it up, you'll actually hear a fuel pump. Unlike most of our models, as mentioned, this is the PowerShift model, wherein every other model has a mechanical fuel pump. This one actually has an electric fuel pump, just like the 110. One unique thing to this one though is it doesn't have an adjustable wheel track. It does have 160 kilos of weights on each rear wheel, but it does have that fixed wheel track. We've set it at its widest point, which is its only point. Now that that's covered, we'll head inside. A couple other exterior things before we head inside. You've got 5 pairs of LED lights here with some on the bonnet. The other thing is for the customers who operate on commercial properties, we do have your rotator and license plate holder there should you feel the need to register said tractor. So here we are in the cab of the 120 PowerShift model, the Trident Plus. Now over here you've got a bunch of switches. Most of them are for lights. They're clearly labeled there. Rotator, headlight, working lights. This here is your Diff Lock. You press that down, it'll engage the Diff Lock and a symbol will show up on your dash. I'll show that later. Same here for 4-wheel drive. It's not a momentary switch, it's just a rocker switch. And again, it'll light up on the dash. This here is for your PTOs. You lift that up and it's disengaged, push that down, it's engaged. Over here is actually the battery isolator. So everything electric on the tractor relies on this button. I'll press that in a second, you'll see the dashboard light up. Over here is all the power delivery modes. So, you know, throttle response, let's say. If you want it to be touchier, you crank that up to full. Otherwise, if you want a low power mode, you pop that down into low. Over here is the auto PTO button. That'll automatically engage and disengage your PTO as needed. Hand throttle over here, cup holder, little cubby hole here. Here are your 3 sets of remotes for your 3-point linkage. If your implements need them, you can push them forward, lock them back in the detented position if you need them activated constantly. Otherwise, have them resting in their neutral position. Here's your front end loader control. As you'll see in another section of the video, this is an Indemar joystick, but up, down, left and right is tilt. You hold the button on the front, left and right, opens and closes the bucket or engages the front end loader 4-in-1 for, let's say, the front end loader post hole digger. That will actually rotate the auger or drive the auger, let's say. Over here is your 3-point linkage main control. So up, down, and then if you pull it all the way back, it engages it into float mode. So it'll follow the contours of the ground and actually, as opposed to missing the low spots or skull dragging along the high spots, and knock that forward back into neutral. Down here is your handbrake, much like a car. And over here, actually we'll go to the dashboard now. I'll turn that on, hit battery isolator. You'll see everything's powering on. Your air conditioning controls are located here. And I'll just press the 4-wheel drive and the Diff Lock buttons now and you'll see them light up at the top here. So there's your Diff Lock. It won't engage with the tractor off, but as you can see, it's lighting up. And same with the 4-wheel drive. You see that light turning on there. Now, just over here is your indicators and your wiper controls, but on the left side of the dash, which I'll cover later, is also a rear wiper control and a few other switches. Now, as you can hear, the fuel pump is priming because it's not a mechanical fuel pump. It is an electronically fuel injected vehicle, so it is pumping fuel as we speak. Now, the PowerShift model, this is what separates this particular tractor and the 110 from our other models. You have a standard H-pattern shifter. Well, in this case, it's a 6-speed on this one. You can use this button as your clutch as opposed to using the clutch pedal. So to disengage and re-engage the clutch, you just press that, go into first gear, release it, off you go in first gear in whichever box you're in, whether that be the low, medium, or high box. Go into the next gear, you press that, knock her forward, release, and it'll put you into second gear. We'll go around to the left side of the tractor now. So now we're on the left side of the cabin here. You've got the radio, pretty bog standard if you've operated a radio before in a car. Over here is actually your PTO speed controls. So right now it's disengaged. You lift that lever up, knock it forward. That's in 1000. We also have 540. As with all of our other tractors and all of our implements run at 540 RPM. You will cause damage to our implements if you run it at 1000. So just knock that back into neutral. Down here is, you had your gear selector on the right. This here is your gearbox ranges. So you have your creeper, your low, and your medium. Creeper, low, and high range box, and they are labeled with a snail, tortoise, and hare accordingly. If you wonder what speed, if you need to be doing a certain speed or need to know your speed, we actually have the sticker on this window on the right side of your cab, which lists all the gears required. Now, lastly, unique to this tractor in our entire range is actually a dicky seat, the first one of its kind in our range, but you have that option there should you decide to bring the wife along for a date or if you want to bring the dog along. Now, going back to everything in front of you here, you have the drive selector, so your neutral, forward, or reverse. It works much like an indicator on a vehicle. You just lift it up, knock it forward. You do have to have your clutch in or press the clutch on the gear shifter to operate that. Over here, hazard lights, other types of lights, and rear wiper, some air conditioning vents. Down here is your controls to lift and lower the steering wheel as needed. These buttons here are actually for the menu operation of the dashboard. I won't go through that now, but if you have a play with it, you'll see all the different settings, and you can set the time and run error codes on the dash just with these buttons here. Down here, clutch pedal as expected. Again, electric clutch on this particular tractor. You have your brake pedals there, which can be used in tandem or split brakes as needed. And down on the floor on the right there, that orange pedal is the accelerator pedal. That just about covers it. Oh, last thing, sorry. You've also got a sunshade that comes right down, and you just pull this tab here to lift that up. Interior light. So here we are now at the rear end of the tractor, the 3-point linkage area if you'd like. We'll start from top to bottom and cover not just the operational side of things, but also some maintenance things at the same time. Up there, you've got your rotator beacon, couple sets of work lights. They're on hinges, currently not set. You're welcome to set them at whatever angle you'd like as needed. You've got a license plate bracket holder, as mentioned earlier, to should you feel the need to register your vehicle. Down here, you've got a windshield washer bottle, so when you do need to refill, that is the fill point there. LED work lights all around, as mentioned. Category 2 3-point linkage setup, but before we get down to there, trailer plug here. 3 sets of remotes as mentioned, and they all have detent valves on them as previously mentioned, so you can lock your remotes in the on or operating position per se. All of these red caps here, naturally they'll eventually get lost as you use your tractor, but the red caps indicate grease points. Please familiarize yourself with all the grease points all around the tractor, not just on the 3-point linkage here. They're all over the front end loader, all over the front axle and the rear axle. Coming over here, tucked right up the back here, is actually a magnetic switch that closes a circuit. You'll just see the edge of the orange bit there. There's a plate that, you'll see that orange bit. What that does is close the circuit and automatically kills the drive to your PTO. Like we mentioned, this is a smart PTO, so electronically controlled. If you lift your 3-point linkage implement up too high, that plate will close the circuit and kill the drive, so you minimize any potential damage to your 3-point linkage setup or to your implement. As mentioned, 540 and 1000 RPM. All of our implements run 540. Standard quick hitch assembly now on all of our tractors, category 2 balls. We ship them also with a drawbar. Should you feel the need to tow stuff around or need to skull drag something, you have that option, but it is removable once you receive the tractor. We just ship it for you to have that option. There is a cover on your 3-point linkage. You will just have to unbolt the cover and pull said cover off. Otherwise, a couple maintenance things. Here is your fill point for the diff/gearbox. They are shared on this particular tractor. And over here is your dipstick to check the levels of said items.